Good morning,
Good morning, good afternoon.
good evening, and happy Merry Christmas Eve for those of you who celebrate. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shya.
Welcome to being here.
Yes.
All right, good topic. I'm ready for this topic.
Holiday weird.
We've discovered over the years that when folks go visit their family, ourselves included, sometimes we come back with more than just the holiday experience and the gifts. And even if things are really, really excellent and a fun time,
Do you ever notice you get weird?
like self-doubts or hangover of an emotional kind, or you start relating to your life in an old, familiar way that's not necessarily something you appreciate? Well, let's start with listening,
Oh, one of my favorite topics.
particularly because it is one of the things that will support you in having a great holiday
And a great life.
and not having to come back with this great big hangover of, ugh.
See, when you resist something,
Mhm.
it persists. It grows stronger and it dominates your life. Now let's talk about listening. Listening is hearing what someone else has to say without resisting what they're saying or even agreeing with what they're saying. It's about allowing what they say to come into you without filtering it through your system of judgments or agreement or disagreement. So it's not, well, let me think about that. You see, most of the time, people think about what's being said, see whether they agree or disagree, or have a different point of view. Well, true listening is allowing what another person has to say to be heard from their point of view. So, if I say I see a November 2025 calendar on my wall here, that is my truth.
And you may be going, wait a minute, it's December, or having a rebuttal conversation in your head.
Exactly. We're suggesting is you hold those rebuttal conversations or even agreement conversations in abeyance. In other words, you don't engage in it and allow what's being said to come into you. If you can do that, and it won't be easy at first because your mind is a machine, and it automatically agrees or disagrees. But if you can slow yourself down enough to hear what another person is saying, it will pull you into the current moment of your life. And if you get in the current moment of your life, transformation is a byproduct of being in the current moment. It's like a resynchronization of your reality. And in that instant, you are transformed, whatever that means.
There are a couple of things that I can think of right off the bat that make it a little more challenging for you to listen to family members and loved ones. Just like your computer, you go to a website and it says, we use cookies, and it downloads and you get a cache of that website so that when you go back to the website, you're not always seeing what's new there. Your cached items, the things that have been recorded from before, show up first. Well, we have a lifetime with our families, so we're not just seeing Uncle Fred or Aunt Susie,
Or mom and dad.
or mom and dad or our siblings. We have an overlay of our entire history with them, so they start speaking.
And who we think they are. So we don't just hear them and discover who they are newly. It's dad. You know how he is.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't mention we do finish each other's sentences. So
You know
I
how they are.
stopped to listen to Shya, and it was revelatory. If I stop the action to listen, I may discover something wholly new. And so may
Something
you.
I don't know.
That you may come on randomly.
That I may come on randomly.
Yeah. I know there was a second thing about listening that makes it challenging, but I'll oh, I it came back to me. There may be people in your family or your loved ones who have interests that are vastly outside of yours. So somebody may adore football, you may not. Somebody may be really into jewelry and you're not. Somebody may talk about knitting or making food and it's not your thing. You're likely to listen preferentially and tune out to conversations about things that are not your automatic areas of interest. You can purposefully engage to hear what another person has to say simply because they're saying it. And actually, that is a gift.
And that is the current moment of your life. So if you're avoiding hearing what somebody's saying, that, that then you lose out on a section of your life that is showing up in that moment. See, our lives are showing up moment by moment. And if you are ignoring something, it's actually a form of resistance to whatever you're not wanting to hear.
Well, if you're
And I'll keep it around.
ignoring something about yourself, it's a form of resistance. And you put on a brave face, but who you are kind of leaks out the side. So, what your friends, your family are left with is an actual overlay of what you're really like. And I've seen that over and over again where you go to a social event and people are putting on their best face, of course, but it's a little bit like being in a room with garlic pizza and walking out of the room and your clothes, you sniff your clothes, you sniff your hair, you smell like what you've been around. So even if you're saying, oh, I'm not eating that, it's what's there. And if you don't make it wrong that that's what you walk away with and you allow yourself to have it, a shower will get you clean.
Anyway, let's take our first guest.
Yeah. Hey, Lindsay, welcome to being here. Tell us where you're zooming in from.
Hi there, it's Lindsay calling in from Winnipeg, Canada.
Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. So, one thing I struggle with a lot at the holiday time is embracing other people's traditions, but also trying to stay, I guess, true or connected to kind of who I am. And I find like as I get older and now I have a family, merging other people's traditions in with how I want to see the holidays, I find that it just leaves me more exhausted and a little resentful by the time the holiday season's over.
Well, my dear, what you resist dominates your life.
Tires you out.
It tires you out because you're resisting it. I mean, it's like pushing against something, it pushes back on you. And so you have to constantly keep pushing against what you don't agree with or want or like, and it exhausts you. So, what about the possibility of you taking a breath and allowing what is to be exactly as it is? I know it doesn't meet your preferences, but it's what's showing up. See? And when you resist what shows up, it dominates your life. And you don't like to be dominated.
Do you have an example of somebody's traditions that collides with what you would prefer?
I think one of the main things that would come up would be almost like the scheduling traditions of just like we do this on this day and this on this day, and it doesn't really leave any room to bring in new traditions. Because you're trying to please everybody else and you're trying to show up because you want that connection time with your, at least I like my family, so I want the connection time with my family. But it can be a little much, and I don't want to hurt their feelings because it's my family and we're close. But then at the end, I'm just like, that wasn't exactly how I envisioned the holidays going.
Well, maybe
Rushed.
you maybe you're going to have to be the grown-up. See, I have a couple of friends. I have a number of friends actually, but I have a couple of friends. They're a married couple, and the mother-in-law, what her mother, his mother-in-law, uh, always disagreed with the way they were raising their kids. So they came to the realization that if they made grandma right, they had peace in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they made grandma wrong, they resisted grandma. Grandma dominated their lives. When whatever she says is right, even though it may not be right, they are free of the constant pressure to resist her. See, if you want to have Christmas show up, let it show up the way it shows up, not the way you think it ought to. Embrace your life as it's coming at you. As the moment shows, be there for it like it's your idea. See what happens. It could be a fun game for you, Lindsay, where life becomes easy because you see, look, my dear, I know you, and I know you're a fighter. When things aren't the way you want, you rebel.
Yes.
Now you're shaking your head.
I know, yes.
Yeah.
It's just, I find like it's just hard, especially like with my parents, because they're getting older. And so I'm like, I know that they don't have necessarily a lifetime of holiday time ahead of them. Um, and with my sister and I both having young kids, like we just try to basically force ourselves it, or I don't want to say maybe not force, but like merge ourselves into how they do Christmas. And it
See,
just does, yeah.
I think there's two things. One is it truly is force. You and your sister have decided it's not your favorite thing. So you don't go about it as if it's your idea that you're hosting Christmas the way your parents would prefer.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
See, as children, we discover our identity in resistance to our parents.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what
Oh, yeah.
they say, we go the opposite way. What if you, as a grown up now, have it be that whatever they want is perfect? They don't have many years left. You say,
Yeah.
cool. Why don't you let them do their thing and enjoy them doing their thing rather than have to resist to prove you're a grown up?
Now, here's the alternate
Point.
possibility, but has the same relaxing outcome. So you either wholeheartedly do what's requested of you as if it's your idea with the intention to love the experience and have it be expansive, or you look and you say, you know what? This is just too much to do these three things. And you propose, let's do these two things instead of these three. I think it'll give us breathing room. And you never know, your parents may be doing things that are outside their energy sphere because they don't want to disappoint you. So it really doesn't matter which way you go about it. It's about being wholehearted either way, rather than in resistance to someone's request either way.
Interesting.
I really see that communication is key, because I saw as my parents aged, there was the desire to keep all of the rituals and traditions in place. And they were really quite relieved when we said, let's not do this one.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about the fact that maybe they're also holding on to some of the traditions, thinking that my sister and I are also holding on to those, like that they're doing it for us versus
Oh, I'm sure they think
letting
they're
it
doing
go.
it for you.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. You'll always be their little girl.
Oh, yes.
And they don't want you say that but you can see with your daughter, it's like when she gets to an age where she's more self-determinative, you're not going to stop worrying about her or caring about her or, looking out for her in the way that you do.
You've been programmed that her survival is critical. And so have your parents with you guys.
That is a very fair point.
So if you can see that you're on your daughter's side, whether she recognizes it or not, you might begin to recognize your parents are on your side, whether you recognize it or not.
And you might can see that you've given them a very rough ride in trying to make a difference in your life.
Yes. Yes, that is fair. You can give us all a little break and maybe ease up on the holidays a little bit.
You can give us all a break and just have some fun. And I got to tell you, if you listen to them like you don't know who they are, and you're going to discover who that person is that's speaking to you, rather than have your automatic barriers, not letting them dominate your life like they did when you were little.
Yeah.
Then you might discover a whole new person there.
Maybe you and your sister could have a different type of collusion.
Well, maybe they can discover newly who they are too.
But also where the two of them get together to have the agreement with each other. Let's have this be fun. Whatever we do, let's have this be fun. Fun for us, fun for our kids, fun for the parents. How do we go about that rather than, oh God, got to go to our parents again and do this and trim the trees on this day and opening presents on that day and all the food and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great point. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. It's been fun being with you.
Yep. Really has.
In here.
Hey, you want to hear about transformation? We've got one of our listeners about to tell you about what's happened in their life out of listening to being here.
This is Erica from Los Angeles, and I love listening to Ariel and Shya's podcast whenever I'm doing something that allows me to really just tune into them, because afterwards I feel so much more open and available to anything and everything that's going on around me, and relaxed and in touch with myself and other people.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Our next Living Made Easy virtual seminars are Monday the 29th, Saturday, January 3rd. And then we have 2 Transformation in the New Year events. They're both on Monday the 5th. There's one that works well in the European time zone from 1:30 to 3:30 Eastern time, or 7:30 to 9:30 in the evening, Central European time. And then we have the regular Monday evening, but the theme is transformation in the new year. Upcoming weekends.
We have New Beginnings, January 10th and 11th, and that's virtual.
And so is the March weekend. The March is 28th and 29th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And the theme is the power of listening. We know we announced last week that it was going to be a different theme, but over this past week, we've been speaking to so many clients and businesses and schools and hear about the power of listening. We thought it was time to do a seminar weekend dedicated to that theme. So that is what's upcoming. And then in May, our first in-person weekend and one-day courses for this year. May 14th is the Freedom to Breathe.
And May 15th through 17th is Being Boldly You.
You can find out about any and all on our website.
And that's in Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah, transformationmadeeasy.com. All right, let's take our friend Ephraim. Ephraim, welcome to being here. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, thanks, guys. I'm calling in from New York City, Manhattan.
Welcome.
All right.
Thanks for having me. So the holidays can be a busy time for us. What I think the most stressful thing for me is that we most often, we'll spend some time. My wife and my daughter and I will spend a little bit of time with my family, and then we'll spend a bit more time with my wife's family. And it can be a lot of fun. We usually go to a nice place like New Hampshire. But it's a lot of people, and we're all kind of close together. And it just, there's different things that can make it less pleasant or more difficult.
Such as?
I think it's scheduling or making sure that everybody's needs are met, making sure that we're all in agreement on little things, big things. But what I've found is that the biggest issue for me is when I think Sarah and I, my wife and I, are not well aligned. When we're not communicating, it can be much more difficult because it's her family and she can get pulled in their direction, and I sometimes feel left out. So I've just been noticing that I've been able to, like in the past, I haven't been able to raise my voice and speak with her about, like, make sure that we're in sync before we connect with her family.
So Ephraim, I have this question. Are you regularly in sync with your wife? Because you're picking this situation as though the situation causes the out of syncness, rather than
it highlights the out of syncness.
That's
because you add a little
there.
Extra pressure, holiday pressure, and then it reveals how you guys relate in stark contrast.
I do feel like we've been talking and connecting up better recently, but no, it's not. We're not always in sync.
But what I'm suggesting is that if you blame the circumstance for your syncness or in syncness or out of syncness, then you're at the effect of the circumstances, rather than you have something to do with whether or not you're communicating well. And it's up to you, really. See, the problem with life is it's really up to you how it shows up. If you're upset, everybody's upset around you.
Or upsetting you.
And you blame it on them. If you're well in yourself, even if they are upset, you can be a
beacon of possibility.
Like a possibility of well-being in the chaos.
I did notice something right from when you were explaining the dynamic. You said we spend a little bit of time with my family and quite a bit more time with her family, and then in my family and her family and her family and my family, and that then ultimately sometimes you feel left out. And I want to talk a bit about how holidays evolved around the period of time that we spent much more time with, quote, my family. We flew to Oregon as my parents were aging. We spent time with my parents, with my sisters, with my in-laws out there more than we did with our kids and family on this coast. And what was very wonderful for me was, as it evolved, Shia stopped treating him like my family. Like, we're going to go see your family, your with a capital Y, almost like a curse. And that being left out, in a way, feeling left out is a little bit of an option on your part, because he allowed me to go and really fill myself with these people who I love. And I feel almost emotional talking about it. And he wasn't punishing me by feeling
left
out or going up and laying down on the bed. You're not including me. And he found ways to not only include himself, but look and see who needed taking care of. So toward the end of their lives, my mom would save projects for Shia, you're here. That light bulb, I've been waiting for it. I have this thing. I'm hoping you will install it in the bathroom. And can you fix this wobbly stuff? She was looking forward to him because he was there, like it was his idea.
and like they were my family, not they were my family, not
My
my in-laws.
Yeah,
Like, by law, I gotta invest.
that's really sweet. It gave me goosebumps. I was looking at it from, my point of view and like how I feel, and you're saying how I can give Sarah the freedom to be with her family and not have to worry about me. And
That's right. Where when I go out fishing, Ariel doesn't think about me out on the stream because I will be pulled by her thoughts. So she lets me be there. You have to grow up. It's like a child wanting attention from his parents or his wife. It doesn't matter. When you're being childish and wanting attention, then you pull on them for their attention rather than allow them to go and live their lives, do what they do, and you be good, being you as you are, not trying to get it to go the way you think it ought to, but actually engaging and how it shows up as though it's your idea, not the victim of it. You see, I know you got in your inbreeding the victim of life. Well, maybe you're not life's victim unless you say you are.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the possibility of
A magical Christmas with your family.
Like you can look, and New Year's, if you're there over New Year's, but you can look and see how to take care of your wife so that she fills up, so that she feels so well in herself. Not because then when you leave, she'll have more energy to give me, but because it'll give you pleasure to give her pleasure. And that's a gift.
sweet.
You are sweet. Yeah. So, and that, Lindsay was talking about it in the last segment, how we have traditions, we have rituals, and, people, do you open your presents if you're a Christmas person on Christmas Eve? Do you do it on Christmas Day? Do you have presents at all? Do you not celebrate Christmas? Whatever. An incredible tradition in legacy is to give each other pleasure, however that looks. And what an awesome thing to teach your daughter.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for
joining us.
making the time to come and sharing of yourself, because it's a gift for everybody. We appreciate you, Ephraim.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Salva.
That takes one to know one in German. Thank you very much. And also, Ephraim is one of the people who's worked behind the scenes this year to help set up the podcast. So it has been as as successful as it's been, and you as listeners have had the opportunity to hear what he has and what we have to offer. So hats off to you. Thank you, Ephraim. Thanks to all of our podcast team for taking care of people this year. And if you're a listener and you'd like to share this episode, we'd be honored. And next week's episode is a Come As You Are party. That's transformation, by the way.
Yes.
Come as you are. We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't miss
Being here.